Hey guys, Caleb from Homebrew Automations here. Just wanted to give you a quick video tutorial of the workings of the Firmostat, the menu system, as well as some of the functions and features within it. In a previous video, I gave a physical overview of the Firmostat, which covers its inputs, outputs, and how to connect everything up. If you have any questions about that, go ahead and review that video first from the support page on the Homebrew Automations website. Let's go through the layout of the main screen of the Firmostat. First of all, the top line shows the program that is currently running. In this case, we are running in manual temperature mode. In the first line below that on the right is the actual temperature that is being read from the probe. The line directly below that is the current set temperature. This is what the system is trying to stabilize at. To the left, we have the cool and heat enable indicators. You can see that the cool text is inverted, indicating that the cool function is enabled. You can also see that the blue LED is on, showing that the cooling power outlet is enabled. The heat text right next to it is not inverted, which indicates that the heat function is currently disabled. The next line down shows the stage and total time of the current program. The stage time will show the time that has elapsed since the start of the current step. It will then flash to total time, which will show the time elapsed since the program was started. The line below the program time line will show notifications and errors when they come up. For instance, if you pull the temperature probe from the socket, an error indicator will be shown on the LCD screen. An error will also alternately flash the LEDs. The error line will alternate between the word error and a short description describing the error. Plugging the temperature probe back into the socket will remove the error. However, now it does show that the cool override text on the screen indicating that the conditions for the cooling function are correct, but the selected cooling recycle time has not elapsed. This is a configurable time that can be selected under the settings menu. So now let's go into the features of the menu. To get to the menu, press and hold down the select button. You will then see the menu come up on the screen. The first option you come to is the Set and Reset Program selection. Pressing the Select button will go down into this menu. The first option you come to is the System Enable Disable function, labeled Off Idle. Switching this option to Off will completely turn off all power outlets. The second option is Manual Temperature. This feature will allow you to set and hold a constant temperature if, for instance, you are running the Firmostat to control a kegerator. The following selection is the On Tap feature. Selecting this will show a list of constant temperature options for your kegerator. The last two options are the default logger and default ale programs that are already stored in your Firmostat. Let's go ahead and select default logger so we have a program selected. This will enable some other features within the Firmostat. For instance, the Adjust Current Program menu selection is now available. Selecting this menu item will allow you to maneuver within the current program. The first selection in this menu, Reset Timer, will restart the complete program from the start. Selecting Step Time will allow you to adjust the current time within the program. The Set Step option will allow you to change to a different step within the program. So if we select this option, it currently shows the step as Shift Down. You can now scroll through the available steps within this program. Here we will scroll down and select the Ferment step. Exiting back to the main screen shows that we are currently in the second stage, which is labeled Ferment, and the temperature reflects this change. Be sure to keep track of the temperature when switching between stages so not to abruptly change the temperature when not intending to. If you want to navigate through a particular step, you select Set Step Time. For instance, we can fast forward to the 7th day within this particular step. To do that, scroll the wheel until 7 is shown and then press the Select button. Or vice versa, let's say your ferment isn't quite done and you want to add a few days to the ferment step. You can do that by rewinding the time to add a number of days you require. To do this, scroll the wheel in the opposite direction and press the Select button. The program selection within the first menu screen will be visited on a different video, but basically this selection gives you the option to add a new custom program, review a program currently stored on the Firmostat, as well as remove a program that you have created. The usage selection shows how long the cooling and heating power outlets have been supplying power. It shows the on time during the previous day, the previous week, and previous month. It also shows the number of power cycles that have occurred. The first of these screens shows the cooling statistics. Pressing the select button will pull up the heating statistics. Pressing the select again will take it back to the main menu. The SD card selection allows you to select some of the features available with the SD card slot of the Firmostat. The first selection uploads the historical data log that is stored on the Firmostat to the SD card. An LED will quickly flash during the upload process. This process can take some time, so you'll need to be patient. Clear log data will remove all the data stored on the Firmostat. Import programs will import the programs stored on an SD card that have been created with the web tool on homebrewautomations.com. This feature will also be reviewed in a separate video. The final main menu selection contains the settings for your Firmostat. The first one is the temperature scale, where you can select either Fahrenheit or Celsius. The delta temperature is the setting for how far off your set temperature is required for the relay to kick on. For instance, if you have a delta temp of 2 and your temperature is set at 70 degrees, the cooling will kick on at 72 degrees while the heating will kick on at 68 degrees. The heat and cool enable settings are fairly self-explanatory. It will enable or disable the functionality of the heating and cooling relays. The heat and cool cycle will set the recycle time for each power output. Once one of them goes off, the Firmostat will wait the specified time before the power can be enabled again. This can be set from 2 minutes all the way up to 90 minutes. The backlight setting selects the time that the backlight will stay on after the last user input. If you scroll all the way up past 60, a 0 will be shown. This indicates that the backlight will always be on. The demo mode will allow you to fast forward time within your program. This allows you to view how the steps of the program will progress. In this mode, 1 second is approximately equal to about 10 minutes. Response Enable will allow you to turn off a safety feature of your Firmostat. With this feature enabled, which is on by default, the Firmostat will test to make sure your system is responding as expected. For instance, if you accidentally plug in the heating element into your cooling outlet, the Firmostat, after some time, will recognize that the system is not responding correctly, will shut the system down, and will show an error. There are some systems on the extreme ends of the scale where this feature will allow false errors. If this is the case, this feature can be disabled. The clock selection will allow you to set the current date and time of your Firmostat. The factory reset option will clear all the memory and reset the system to the factory default settings. The About selection will show the model of your Firmostat as well as the hardware version and the current firmware version you are running. You can also access the errors screen from here. This will show the errors that are currently set for the system and give you the option to clear them. Exiting out will get you back to the main screen. This has been an overview of the Firmostat and the menu system. If you have any questions, please go to the support page of the Homebrew Automations website. There you will have answers to some frequently asked questions and access to the forum. You can also submit questions to support@homebrewautomations.com.